Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to Breaking Bricks. I'm your host, Neil. This is week 3 of the Clone Wars mock. Urbana, the battle bridge, or the battle, it started in Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 9, I do believe. We are doing this build. Right now we are working on the Valley. We have a lot to work on. So this week we're going to focus on, wiring for the LED lights as well as tubing for the fog machine, because I want to run a bunch of different types of tests through this thing, different types of hosing, just to see if I can get it all to work together and try it in different ways, because the idea behind this is to use it in different applications. And hello, Ashes. And we got a lot of work to do. And of course, somebody did put a good question up last week. It was Stephen Holtz, 1760, asked, translucent pieces to hold the fog in. That's not a bad idea. So let's go ahead and take a look at some different options we could do for that, and why I'm not going to use pieces to hold the fog in, because I do want evaporation, because ultimately condensation will build up on the glass pieces. But overall, let's also take a look at why I also don't want to use those pieces. He's behind some 1x2 translucent bricks here, and it just kind of takes away from the detail. You can't see what's behind him. And overall, you really have to keep it clean. As you can see, he has quite a few troops behind him. So we do have some other options to kind of clear that type of problem up if we ever decide to use something like this. Now, these ones are a little bit bigger, and you can see Director-Krennic there hiding behind those. But once again, it's still a little hard to see detail through those. My probably best option, if I was going to go with that kind of an idea, would be to use, let's go down here to the Dark Troopers, are these 5x6 clear translucent wall panels. Now, I don't know if they come any bigger than that, but these would be great. You can kind of see the stuff going on behind the detail. The other issue with using that on the sides of the types of builds that I build, just simply because it would be super expensive, and then to track down all those types of translucents. That was a great question. If I was doing something like a Dagobah build, having those translucent pieces on the sides to help hold it in would be a great idea. But ultimately, you do want some kind of exposure to the atmosphere outside of the build, so it has time to evaporate. Because ultimately, when you're putting fog juice into a machine, it is a liquid. And then when you turn on the machine, what it does is it has an element inside there that heats up. It drips onto that element. It produces the fog, and as the pressure builds up in the cylinder, it shoots out when you hit the button. And of course, once you're empty the cylinder, it stops and reloads and repeats the process. And this machine isn't very big, simply because this is a Lego set. I'm not setting up $500 geysers and everything else like I used to do on stage. But anyway, we got a lot of work to do. Let's focus on what we need to get done and start running some of these tests. Let's get to it. All right, my friends, welcome back. This is just more of this going on, but this we're going to focus on more of the substructure. But we're going to start adding power as well as the tubing for the special effect. All right, so we're going to start with power, then we'll do tubing. I'm going to build this section into whatever's going into it, just to keep it strong. So we'll get a closer look at all that later on today. So that's what we're going to focus on, since we've got these 4 sections ready to go. It is up to a point. They're not completely finished. We still have sub-supports and everything else that need to go in there. I did put those in when we did the green section here in the middle, and those are just there to kind of give us a base to step off of. So we're just going to continue working on and get as far as we can on these sections, because once these sections are done, then I can work on the sides, and then we can start the bridge. All right, let's get at it. Well, my friends, we've taken it as far as we can take it this week. You know, it's still a big open valley. You know, we got the green plates on. We got a little bit of edging on here. You know, we got the tubing ran. We got our electrical ran for LEDs. But ultimately, you know, I've ran a couple tests. So before I really get into showing you, you know, I want to make sure that it's going to fire up right. So I think I'm going to have to change this particular hose out because that's what I'm having a problem with. So I'm going to go ahead and get that ordered. That way by next video, we can go ahead and get that started with this. But anyway, you know, we have so far to go. You know, we've got our field kind of done. So the beautiful thing here is we can start our cliff now and then integrate our sides so it all looks right. You know, I've already got my tabbing in here as well. I could show you an overview of an open field, but I'm not going to do that. You know, you can see it perfectly from where you are. But next week, I do believe we're going to start the detail looking. Just because, you know, I'll actually have something physical to show you. It always slow at the beginning because you're doing a lot of substructure, a lot of support, you know, and we're still working in that. So we're probably a month or two out before it really starts to pull itself together. But it will be hopefully glorious in the end. But anyway, if you like what you saw here today, go ahead and hit the like button. Lets me know I'm doing a good job, and it helps the algorithm suggest my video to other people that might like this kind of content. And of course, we cannot grow here as a family unless you hit that subscribe button. It takes you a half a mere second, but for me it means an awful lot. Hey, you got a good idea for this build or just want to shoot the shit? Go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Otherwise, I'll see you here next week on Breaking Bricks.